Right, so the World Cup's just finished, and I'm going to rank all of these teams based on how well they did at the World Cup. I think a few of them will be a bit controversial, and I'll probably get a bit of shit if anyone's watching. But here we go. Algeria. They're ranked 28th in the world, which is quite good, but they finished third in their group, joint with. Who finished second? They finished third on 4 points, I remember that. And got battered by Argentina, but fair enough, it was Argentina. Drew with Switzerland. No, they didn't. No, they lost 2-0 to Switzerland in the knockouts, which I think was a bit of a shit performance as well. So, really, you want to be beating Switzerland. It's a 50-50, really, that game around about. So, to be losing that game in your first knockout one, it's not great. So, we're going to go. We're going to go as low as D. C. Let's do D. I don't think it could have really gone much worse. It just about scraped the groups and then put in a bit of a shit performance against Switzerland. Argentina, well, number one, uh, obviously got to the final. Dirty dogs, dirty fucking dogs. Um, you got to say, yeah, A. I mean, they weren't too convincing in a few of their games. Obviously, they scraped by against Egypt, come back against us from 1-0 down, come back against someone else, I think. I don't think you can be disappointed with that. I think, Spain and and France were the two big favourites. Got further than France, beat England. That's a bit of a big win, even though we're shit in the big games. Um, but yeah, good tournament really. Just couldn't win the final against Spain. They're just too good. Uruguay. Uruguay finished third in their group, but they only got 2 points, so they're one of the only teams that didn't go through after finishing third. They drew with Cape Verde. Cape Verde played really well this tournament, but still drawn with Cape Verde 2-2. Drawing with who's the other one? Saudi Arabia. It's the other team they drew to. Uruguay got quite a good team. They got Valverde, Nunes, quite highly ranked. I think they're 20 odd. No, less than 20. I think they're ranked 16th. So got a really high ranking, and only got 2 points. So that's got to go straight into D. Really disappointing. Uzbekistan didn't really have much of a chance today. They're ranked 50th, which isn't too bad for them. I mean, New Zealand's the lowest; they're 84th, I believe. But conceding 3 goals to Congo isn't good, even if you're Uzbekistan. Lost all 3 of their games, didn't get a single point. It feels a bit harsh putting them in D, but I think you just have to, really. Losing 3-1 to Congo, conceding. Congo are great defensively, but you can't be conceding 3 goals against them. America. Americans are really disappointed with how it went, but I don't think they did bad. I think they pretty much just did what was expected of them, really. I thought, they should be happy with winning a knockout game and then going out. They would have been hoping to get to the quarterfinals. I think that was probably the goal. I think they wanted to get to. If they didn't get to the round of 16, that would have been embarrassing, being one of being the main host. But they was aiming for quarterfinals. But the only thing is that their last game against Belgium was embarrassing. They went out on a bit of a low. Belgium were the favourites for that, but they're a team that you could see America possibly beaten, especially as playing at home. But they were shit, weren't they? They were shit. Let's be honest. Completely outplayed. Belgium were just like, yeah, have the ball. You're not going to do anything with it. And they didn't. They did fuck all. They got a goal from a free kick. Anyone can get a goal from a free kick at any point. But I think overall, I'm giving it B. Didn't they win their first game like 4-0 or something like that? They won some game 4-0, 5-0. Yeah, I thought it was quite good, really. Just disappointing about the last game. If they went out by 1 goal against Belgium and put in a good performance, then I think everyone would have been quite happy. But it was a bit embarrassing that last game. That's the only reason. Turkey, they had such a good chance to go through. They were in America's group, obviously. I thought they were going to finish. I think in my prediction, I might have had them finishing first, actually. Or I definitely had them in the top two anyway. But they've got some great players. They've got Yilmaz, they've got Gola. Got some good young attacking players. And Turkey have been a dark horses for the last few tournaments, and they were a dark horse again. There's about 10 different dark horses, weren't there, for this one? But everyone expected them to do better. Shocking, really. Losing to Paraguay. Who else they lose? So they beat America in the last game when it didn't matter. So that was a good result, but I'd say it didn't matter. America won their first two. They didn't really give a shit. Yeah, not good enough, really. Ruined it. Tunisia, they were in a group of Holland and Japan and Sweden. Got battered every game. Sweden, you thought they'd make it a bit close. Even Japan, you think if they set up defensively well, they could make a game of it. But no, I didn't get a single point. Got battered every game. Straight to D. It does feel a bit harsh putting countries like Tunisia and that in D. But I mean, if you get no points and you get battered, then you got to be in D, ain't you? I suppose, even if you are shit. Switzerland, they beat our first team here. They beat Algeria, didn't they, in the knockouts? Who did they lose to? I just need to check a couple of these. I just need a couple of reminders. Yeah, so they got to quarterfinals, didn't they? We was going to play them. Did they go 1-0 up against Argentina? They lost 3-1. I'm pretty sure they went 1-0 up. But yeah, good tournament from them, to be fair. They got some good players. I thought they'd struggle in the heat, the climate. But no, they did well. Quarterfinals, you've got to be happy with that. You've got to put that in A. I think if they beat Argentina, you would have to put that in S. That would have been remarkable. But getting to the quarterfinals for Switzerland is very good. I think that's the highest finish. It's got to be the highest finish ever, isn't it? Surely. Sweden aren't a bad team. They have, would you still say they have the golden generation? Maybe got Isak and Gyökeres up front, but Isak was injured for the whole of last season. A couple other good players as well. Graham Potter was there. There was a good feeling around Sweden, but bit disappointing really. Got to the knockouts, but got knocked out in around the 32. It was by France, so I didn't really put up a fight though, and they lost 3-0. Got battered by Holland 5-1. But then they also battered Tunisia, but it's Tunisia. But yeah, losing 5-1 to Holland ain't great. And getting a point against Japan's good, so I don't know, I'll put them in C. Obviously you expect them to lose to France, but in the groups they were okay, I suppose. Beating Tunisia 5-1 was their highlight, really. Drawing to Japan's good as well, to be fair, but yeah, got a bit embarrassed against Holland and then just didn't really put up much of a fight against France. Spain, obviously, we're going A. I don't really need to say anything. Conceded 1 goal the whole tournament and then won the bloody thing, didn't they? Korea had a decent chance to go through. They won their first game and then they lost their next. But then they had a chance in their last game to go through. They only needed a point and they lost to South Africa. So, not good, really. You'd expect them to get at least a point from that. So, I think that's the go in D. They got a decent team. Would you say they were dark horses? I don't know. They weren't for me. But, yeah, disappointing anyway to not get out the groups and losing to South Africa. Speaking of South Africa, I think they did quite well. I think their team's a bit shit. They literally have shithole in midfield, which tells you everything you need to know. Lyle Foster, I think, is wank. Ipswich were linked with him when we got promoted last time, and I was saying, oh no, because he's shit. And he sort of proved it again. And he's their main player. So, but they finished second in the group. They lost their first game to Mexico, didn't they? The first game of the tournament. You expected that. But finishing second ahead of South Korea is very impressive. And then in the knockouts, they only just lost 1-0 to Canada, one of the hosts. So, they made it hard for them. It was a bit of a boring game, I think, but Canada got a late goal and went through. But South Africa put up a good fight and they made it hard for them. I'm giving them a B. They can be proud of that, getting to the knockouts and only just about losing to Canada. So yeah, well done. Senegal. I was really looking forward to watching Senegal. I did like watching them play, but I just wish it could have gone on a little bit longer. Obviously, they was in the group of death. They made it through in the third place playoff, only with 3 points, so they just scraped their way there. Did well against France in the first half, especially. They gave them their toughest test, except from Spain. Losing narrowly to Norway could have gone either way, and then battered Iraq. And then they were so close to beating Belgium, so close to going through, 2-0 up. And then Belgium get a couple of late goals, so see, they're going to be absolutely gutted. They've obviously been gutted about that result against Belgium. Could have gone further, should have gone further, but they didn't. Then Scotland, got my Scotland colours on. No, not really. I don't really care. Actually, no, I do care about them, to be fair. Their national anthem's unbelievable, and I think they're decent people. I'll give them... I'm going B. I know they didn't even get out of the group, but they did win a game, and they were they were unlucky to not get a result against Morocco. I did say if they sit back and set up really well, defend well, they can scrape a point. And they did that for pretty much the whole game. It's just that Morocco scored in like the first 40 seconds. So yeah, really unlucky not to get a point in there. Played Brazil as well. Yeah, they weren't really going to win that, were they? But really unlucky to not get a result against Morocco. But I think they can be proud. It's their first World Cup, innit? Yeah, they got a bank holiday for qualifying, so I'm guessing it was their first one. And they won a game, and I think they represented themselves really well. The Americans love them. It's not about that, but you know what I mean. They did well. First World Cup, and they got a win. Very, very easily could have gone through to the knockouts as well. Saudi Arabia, obviously not the best team, but they've got 2 draws. What were you expecting, really? Not much. Spain and Uruguay expecting to finish above them. They was hoping to finish third, but Cape Verde were a surprise. But they got a couple draws. I mean, they obviously didn't embarrass themselves, but they didn't, do much either. So you got to put them in C. It'd be harsh to put them in D. Qatar. Yeah, fuck off. I heard a stat the other day that they're the first host nation of a World Cup to lose their first game of the tournament. Well, they were 4 years ago, obviously. Yeah. Held a really good World Cup, to be fair. I don't know why I'm telling them to fuck off. I've got nothing against them. I just don't like the corruption, basically, of getting given a World Cup. Then we've got Paraguay. I think they can be really proud of themselves, to be fair. Not in the France game. They were dirty bastards. If you think Argentina are dirty, then watch that game. That was disgusting, really. But their performances, though, they can be proud of it. They got 4 points. Did really well in the groups. Made it a hard game for France. Got a point against Germany as well. Great result. Probably the best in a World Cup. I'm not an expert on Paraguayan World Cups, but give yourselves a B, Paraguay, you filthy animals. Portugal finished second in their group behind Colombia. Isn't a shocker, but obviously doesn't look great. And lost in the... Who else did they play in the knockouts? They obviously got knocked out to Spain. Beat Croatia. Good result. You do sort of expect Portugal to win, but that's obviously not an easy game. That's your England. No, it wasn't that easy. Second half was easy, to be fair. But yeah, drew the Congo. It's embarrassing. Finishing second in their group. Spain, it was a dead game, but Portugal gave it a go more than what Argentina did. I don't think you can be that disappointed, really, unless you're Ronaldo. He's probably still crying, a little baby. Do I put him? B feels too high, but then C. I suppose it's got to be C in it because it's Portugal and they only got to the quarterfinals, was it? Round of 16, actually, yeah. So you can't really put it much higher for that, and drawn with Congo as well. So yeah, C. They won't be too happy with that, really. Panama only conceded a few goals, but didn't score a single goal in a World Cup. Don't know how many teams didn't manage to score a goal, but yeah, straight to D, I suppose. You didn't score a goal, and you are shit, but you didn't score a goal, so straight to D. Norway, loved watching them. Loved watching them row. Could have knocked us out, to be fair. Knocked out Brazil. Got through the group of death as well, finishing second. I'll put them in A. Got to the quarterfinals, knocked out one of the giants, and just had a bloody ruddy good time, didn't they? So yeah, I'll put them in A. It's their furthest they've ever finished as well, wouldn't it? You could. It's an argument you could put them in S, to be fair. Or should you only have one in S? I don't know. Holland, maybe deserve to stay in it for longer. We say deserve. They got knocked out to Morocco. Morocco are a good team, but it's disappointing for Holland. If they're going to get knocked out, you want them getting knocked out to, like I was going to say Italy. You want to get knocked out to Spain or France or something like that. You don't want it to be against Morocco. But they were entertaining for the group stage. They finished top of their group. The Japan game, first half was shit. I'm obviously thinking back like a month now to some of these games. First half was shit. Second half was brilliant. Got a point there. Smashed Sweden. Smashed Sweden. And yeah, not bad. I would like to send more of them. I'll put them in C because losing to Morocco in your first knockout game, it's just not great, is it, really? New Zealand. Love the Kiwis. Their first ever World Cup. They were the lowest ranked team in the tournament. Managed to get a point. And then they didn't really embarrass themselves. They did get battered a bit by Belgium. But I don't know, kept it respectful generally. And they got a point, and it's their first ever World Cup, so they'll be happy with that. I'm not putting them in D. Put them in C. Could even put them in B, even though they only got a point, but they're ranked like 84th, so what do you expect, really? Morocco, like we were saying, they knocked out Holland. Amazing result for them. They finished top of their group. And they did they draw with Brazil? They did, didn't they? Drew Brazil. That was all over them in the first half. Battered Canada 3-0 in Canada, which is impressive, and then lost to France in the is that the round of six? No, beat Holland. It would have been quarterfinals, wouldn't it? Yeah, no, put them in A. There you were, happy beating. That's got to be their second highest finish, surely. They finished in this. They got to the semis in the last one, didn't they? In Qatar. But quarterfinals, getting a result against Brazil, beating Holland, and keeping it quite respectful against France, finishing joint top of the group, or second, with Brazil. Yeah, you can't complain, can you? Mexico, one of the hosts, could have gone further. They'd be really annoyed that they didn't beat us. They're a team that I think they would have been looking at that game against us and thinking, we can beat one of the big teams here. Didn't quite manage to do it, even though the ref helped them. I'll give them B. I think, play some good football, entertaining to watch, and finished top of their group, and won a knockout game. So can't complain really. And then they lost against one of the favourites in a close game. So beat Ecuador as well, didn't they? 2-0. That was the knockout game. Brilliant performance, Ecuador. I had them getting to a lot of the semis. Did really well. You could if they beat England, that would have 100% been straight away. Possibly yes, but no, had a solid tournament. Won all their group games. Can't complain. Jordan, Katie Price, lost all of their games, but they were quite narrow margins. Low expectations for them. But you lose all your games, I think really you have to go in D. New Zealand got a point, I'll put them in C. But if you lose all your games, I think it's probably straight to D, isn't it, really? Japan, weird one, because only just lost to Brazil in their first knockout game. Got a point against Holland, but again, this would have been one of the big dark horses. And you expect them to get further than around 32, but then it was Brazil. So I think B feels too high. C even feels slightly too low, but I'll put them, get in there. Get in the C. Ivory Coast again, easily could have gone further, losing 2-1 to Norway in around the 32. Conceded a late goal against Germany, that could have changed everything for them. I think they would have finished above Germany then. Beat Ecuador, that was a great win, great performance as well. C feels slightly too low, but put them in C. Can't have any complaints really, but they'll be disappointed they didn't go one further. Iraq, they were in a group of death with Norway, Senegal and France. But they did lose every game and they got battered, so straight to D. Iran drew all 3 of their games and then fucked off basically. So they was undefeated in the World Cup, which isn't bad. Problem is though they didn't win any games, and they played New Zealand, who are the lowest ranked team in the tournament. So they bottled it a little bit there, really. You could put them in D, but then they went unbeaten, so that's a bit harsh, isn't it, really? But they did bottle it against New Zealand, so I'll put them in C. They're going to be really annoyed they didn't beat New Zealand. If they did, that would have changed everything, but they didn't, so whatever. If any of you make it this far into the video, leave a little comment. I can't imagine anyone's made it this far. Fucking hell, we've still got loads of teams left. Sometimes I just make a video and I'm just like, who would bother watching this shit, to be honest with you? But, oh well. It's a good experience anyway. My videos aren't always going to be this shit. It's just, I'm only just starting. Anyway, enough about me. Haiti. Lost all their games. Scored a few goals. But you lost all your games, so D. Ghana. Didn't do too bad really, did they? They ain't got the best. Well, to be fair, they got Semenyo and Koulos. So, but they got a point against England. Could have beaten us really. Only just lost by a goal to Croatia. Only lost by a goal in knockouts to Colombia. Not ranked that highly either, despite having a couple good attackers. I'll put them in C. I think they did quite well. Got a lot of teams in D, ain't we? Germany, yeah, you can go into D as well. I know they got into the knockout. I said we there. Great granddad will be rolling in his grave. I know they got to the knockouts, but they made a bit of a meal of it to get there, and then when they got there, who did they get knocked out to again? Oh, they got knocked out of Paraguay, didn't they? Where did I put Paraguay? Oh, B. Oh, I'm putting them an A for that. Did I even talk about that when I was rating Paraguay? I don't know if I was. But yeah, you go into A, so you beat Germany. Germany, you can say in D, mate. France, um, they played so well up until they didn't. Um, cheers, chef. No, they played really well up until Spain, but then Spain obviously won it. They were by far the best team in the tournament. But France was so good though. They were so good in most of their games until they played Spain, who won it. I'll put them. I'll put them in B. You got to the semis. They were the favourites or the second favourites to win it, but they got to the semis. Played great football, scored a lot of goals, looked really good, and then they just didn't really have anything for Spain. But then they're the winners. So right, England. Again, a lot of these are weird ones because you've got some great performances and teams getting quite far, but then just for whatever reason, just performing shit in their last game, and that sort of lets them down. And it's the same for us, really. First half against Argentina, I thought was decent. I thought it was just 50-50, really. People kicking the shit out of each other. You love to see it. You love a rivalry. But then I don't need to say what I'm going to say, really. When we scored, we just sat back. We did, though. We did just sit back and invite pressure on us, and then Tuchel throwing the players under the bus, which was amazing. Not, but I'll give us a B. We could have easily. I said I thought we'd lose to Mexico, and we didn't. And then Norway, I thought was a 50-50. We won that as well. So they're not the biggest teams, Norway and Mexico, obviously, but they're still really dangerous and really good. And Norway beat Brazil 2-0 before we played them, and we easily could have lost any of those games. If you bet money with me on if we'd lose to either of those teams, I would have taken that bet. I mean, to lose against at least one of them, So got to the semis. Only the fourth time we've ever done that, and then obviously beat France in the loser cup, third place cup, which could put you an A, really. It's the highest we've ever. It's the second highest we've ever finished. It was just so disappointing, that game against Argentina, though, and losing to Argentina, who hate us. It's not great. I'll keep us in B. That game could put France down to C, to be fair. Fuck it, I'm putting them in C. I'll put them at the top of C. I'm not doing in order in every section, but will put France there because if it was a little bit harsh putting them in C, but yeah, that was embarrassing, that game, and Spain game was a bit embarrassing as well. Right, do you know what? My laptop's going to die and I can't be able to do all of these, so I'm just going to do a few more. I'm going to do Brazil, get into D, maybe. Lost in the round of 16 against Norway, 2-0. That's unacceptable, really, for Brazil. The weather would have favoured them. Yeah, I'll put them in D. Ecuador, you let me down, didn't you? I'll put you in D. I had you get into the semis or maybe the quarters, but didn't get anywhere near there. So there was moments and there was games where I was like, all right, they're they're back. They're actually going to do it, but then they didn't. But I don't know why. I put way too much faith in them, really. When I first then started watching them play and I looked at their lineup, I was like, oh, what have I done? Because they got like a 36-year-old striker up front. They got Ener Valencia up front still. he's championship. He's probably mid-table championship quality. They got some great defenders, but just no quality attackers. I know that left winger did really good actually. He's playing in Serie B, I think. Belgium, weird one. Could have easily got knocked out to Senegal. Should have pulled off an unbelievable comeback and then beat America in America 4-1. I think they did good. I think the kid did good. Who did they lose to? Spain. Yeah, Spain. So they lost to the champions as well. Don't think they played bad in that game. Yeah, the Senegal comeback was unbelievable. Beat one of the hosts. I'll put them in B. People are saying, Martinez, he's bottled another golden generation. This isn't a golden generation for Belgium. That was fucking years ago, right? Company's gone. Hazard's gone. Alderweireld, he was world class at one point, is gone. Vertonghen was very good as well. He's gone. Dembele as well. I loved him in midfield. Another Tottenham boy. He's obviously long gone. Still got Courtois. Lukaku's nowhere near as good as what he was. So yeah, not an unbelievable squad really. It isn't a golden generation. So people saying he's bottled another golden generation. Fucking hasn't. He's only got a few really good. De Bruyne's not in his prime anymore either. So no, I don't think he bottled anything. I think it was just a decent tournament really. He got a couple really good wins, and only got knocked out to the champions in the quarterfinals. So no, I don't think it was bad. Do you know what? I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to be such a lazy cunt. I don't think anyone's even going to be watching at this point anyway. I've been recording for like 44 minutes. So yeah, that's my tier list. Did anyone else not really? I don't know. I didn't really get into this World Cup as much as I normally would. Maybe I'm just being a depressing cunt, but I don't know. It wasn't bad. The Russia one, I feel like, has been the worst one of my lifetime. There wasn't too many memorable bits, but no. That was all right one. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you later.